Hello everyone, I'm CJ Wetzel, Director of Golf Operations here at Ridglea Country Club. Back today to visit a little bit more of the progress at the South Course Renovation project. So today we're going to start out on hole number 12, directly across the street from the clubhouse. Where I'm standing, we're in the teeing area, and one of the updates or changes to this hole as it relates to the teeing area, you can see behind me, if I'm facing the hole, we've opened up this right side of the tee box a little bit more. If anything, opening up this side of the box has kind of changed the angle into the hole. You can see we're pretty much looking straight down the middle of the fairway, so it's straightened out the hole a little bit. It helps a little bit because when you're on that normal left side of the box, if the wind's out of the south, it wants to push everything towards Mary's Creek. I don't imagine this side of the box won't be used every day. I think you'll see it more so for tournament play, but a new option and again, a new look at the hole. Once we get across over to the fairway side, you'll notice the one fairway bunker that used to be on the right side of the hole is actually no longer there. So you won't see fairway bunkers on hole number 12. I wanted to highlight, if you remember from previously playing here, number 12 was traditionally a very flat fairway. And again, this is another opportunity to highlight some of the contouring and movement through the fairways to help us improve drainage and move more water, but also add a bit more character to the hole. We're just past the tree and where the old fairway bunker used to be, but you can see a little bit more now as I move through this fairway. There's a little bit more of a high point on the right side. And then actually feeding down, if you can even see the middle of the fairway, that's even a drain basin. So it gives you an idea of how the water is going to move, but also some of the contouring throughout the fairway. It's amazing how much, you know, just with a bulldozer moving dirt around and creating all of the contours and again, just adding more character to what was pretty much a straightforward and flat level hole. I wanted to highlight some of the runoff areas and the closely mown areas that'll be surrounding this green. Again, if you look at the overlay a little bit, this green's a little bit larger than what was previously here. But if I'm directly behind the green, going straight down the fairway here, you'll notice some low spots kind of back left. Again, there's another drain basin, and then probably another 20 to 30 yards directly behind another drain basin, just so that gives you an idea of where some of the low points are. I mean, you can see even right now how much slope there is running off of this green. There's obviously a lot more sloping through this green than what was previously here, but that's obviously a design characteristic that we've highlighted through some of the other holes that we've visited. So again, noting some of the change, additional character and some of the challenges, but also increased playability. So this has turned out to be, I think, what'll be a really nice space. So we've made our way over to number 13 tee box, the par 3 directly over Mary's Creek. We're kind of on a newly added back portion of the tee, so this will be featured as a back tee, which adds probably about 10 to 12 yards of total distance, maxing out around 185. You can see going in this line, it's changing the angle a little bit, being a little bit further to the left if I'm facing the hole. This will be a pretty neat spot to see once it's all grassed and completely finished. Again, the new add to the back tee, adding a little bit more distance, changing the angle a little bit, the expanded tee box, and then the ribbon tee feature. This is going to look pretty cool once it's done. So I think we're going to go take a look at the green. I'm standing just on the back left portion. I'm in line with basically the left edge of the green. The subgrade's been finished. You've got gravel, you've got the sand layers. This green's ready to be grassed, which right now they've been working on 15, they're moving to 14, and then they'll make their way back over here. But again, coming back to number 13 green and the surrounding areas, where the camera's set up is probably a little bit of a higher point. This will be a fun little par 3 and again, a main featured hole to this golf course. So from here, I think we're gonna jump over to hole number 18. And once we finish that hole, we will have visited all of the holes on the Benbrook side of the golf course. So on to 18 we go. We're kind of on the back edge of the tee. I wanted to give you a little bit of perspective of what this tee shot looks like. The angling of the box from here optically, it makes me feel like I'm set up toward basically the left half of the fairway, but the new addition of 2 fairway bunkers on the right side of this fairway. So if for some reason or another I am wanting to take it up the right-hand side, those bunkers are now in play if I'm not going to turn it far enough to the left. So no distance added on this hole. If anything, it's actually a few yards shorter, but I think some of the playability characteristics with the addition of the fairway bunkers, we'll highlight one of the signature bunkers as we get closer to the green, and then also the additional bunkers that were kind of added short right of the green on this hole. I think all of these features are going to impact the playability significantly. So even if I told you that this hole was 5 to 10 yards shorter, it does not scream it got easier by any means. So wanted to highlight, again, I referenced the add-ons of the 2 new fairway bunkers. This is the first one. These guys are probably 60, 70 yards apart. So I think coming into play really for everybody, regardless of how far you hit your tee ball. Again, a lot more movement through this fairway. I know originally you had a high side kind of on the right and balls would tend to funnel down on the left. But again, the mounding that's been created on the left side has kind of created a little bit more separation between 18 and number 12 tee, and probably still going to help keep the balls a little bit more in the fairway on this side. So this is it's going to be a neat driving hole. There's a lot going on, a lot more going on with the movement through the fairway that previously existed, as well as the additional fairway bunkers. I really wanted to highlight some of the bunkering and, well, the new signature bunker on 18, as well as the bunker layouts as you approach this hole. Because, well, if I'm laying up, for example, and I'm playing this as a 3-shot par 5, once you see kind of how everything's been mapped out and the routing that it's going to take to get to that green, it's going for this green in 2 is going to become a much more interesting scenario. Again, we're on the left half of the fairway where the previous bunker, again, about 75 yards out, would just cut straight across. This bunker does not do that. You can see the mounding that goes through this bunker. I mean, this has got to be at least 50, 60 yards from front to back. There's a lot going on here, and you can see why we'll end up kind of referring to it as a signature bunker. There's nothing else like this on the golf course. Whether I'm laying up on this hole or if I'm going for it in 2, this bunker is going to come into play. The bunker on the right half of the fairway, that was, we already had the bunker there. This, the format of it is expanded in size. And then as I progress further up another 20, 30 yards, that's where we're gonna have another complex of the 3 greenside bunkers. So there's a lot of trouble that can be found in the bunkering and the layout as we get, inside of 100 yards or so of this hole. It's definitely going to make it more interesting. Like I said, back on the tee box, even if this hole got a little bit shorter, by no means did it get easier in terms of its playability. Thank you again for taking the time to watch these videos. I really hope it's you know, showing you a pretty good picture of what's going on the ground over here as we progress through this project. Again, I referenced, we already did one large format walking tour and Q&A where we kind of got to take a trip up from 18, 12, 13, and then all the way to 15. But we're gonna add on, we've got coming both May 7th and May 21st, a couple Thursdays. We're gonna do some smaller scale private tours. Be sure to visit the club calendar for registration. Again, a maximum of 20 people, and that'll be hosted by myself and then Dwayne Jansen. So we'll be able to see a little bit more of the progress. Obviously, we've got grass going down, number 15's done, making our way over to 14. So it's definitely a different experience when you're here on the ground. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and we look forward to seeing you out here on one of our next tours.